This is Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we dissect politics, policy, and governance. I'm Hamza Idris. Hello and welcome. Kidnappers are on the rampage in many parts of the country, but of recent, they have also descended on Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. They are killing and abducting both the rich and the poor. But as families struggle to raise ransom to rescue their loved ones, the federal government declared fundraising for payment of ransom as illegal. Meanwhile, Nigerians are expressing concern over the government's failure to guarantee security of lives and property of its citizens. This is our focus on today's politics tonight. In the course of the program, you will have the opportunity to call and share your opinion and lend your voice on what the citizens should do to secure the release of their loved ones who are between life and death in the hands of criminals at a time the government is insisting that it is a crime to pay ransom. We also appreciate your thoughts on the quest to secure Nigeria. But before then, we have in the studio Jamilu Mohammed, an economic analyst and an author who has written a lot on security issues in Nigeria to discuss the matter. Welcome to the program once again, Jamilu.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers.
And on our top stories, protesters rocked life here at the Nasarawa state capital following the Supreme Court judgment affirming the election of Governor Abdullahi Sule. On Friday, the Apex Court delivered judgments on the Nasarawa governorship election petitions and 5 other states. And here is an update on the Supreme Court verdict.
The Supreme Court on Friday dismissed the appeal of the People's Democratic Party PDP governorship candidate David Umbugadu against the election of Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. The panel of justices in a unanimous decision dismissed it for lack of merit and affirmed the election of Governor Abdullahi Sule. But the Apex Court's judgment was greeted by mixed reactions and protest in Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court also affirmed the election of Ubasani as Kaduna State Governor. The court dismissed the appeal by the PDP and its candidate, Mohammed Ashuru Isa. The Court of Appeal in Abuja had on November 24, 2023, in a unanimous judgment affirmed the election of Ubasani as Kaduna State Governor. The Apex Court also upheld the judgments of the lower courts affirming the election of Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Hayar of Gombe State. PDP's Muhammad Jibrin Barre had challenged the outcome of the 2023 governorship election in the state, won by APC's Inuwa Hayar. Now to Ogun State, where the Apex Court confirmed the election of the state governor, Dapo Abiodun. The court has affirmed the election of the Delta State Governor, Sheriff Oborevwori. The court dismissed the appeals by the All Progressives Congress and its candidate Ovi Omoagege and the Labour Party and its candidate Ken Pella against the governor. The Apex Court also delivered judgment on the Kebbi State governorship election appeal. It ruled that the PDP and its candidate Aminu Bande failed to discharge the burden of proof placed on their shoulders by the law. And the court affirmed the victory of Governor Nasir Idris of the All Progressives Congress APC in Kebbi State.
Yes, Jamilu, you saw it today. Harvest of victories by incumbents,
sitting governors.
Yes. What is your take? Many Nigerians thought that quite a number of governors will lose their seats.
Well, the last Supreme Court judgment before this one, it went the same way. 8 cases, and all the 8 cases against sitting governors did not succeed. I think it seems to project a certain trend. Would we say this is giving INEC a credit?
Oh.
Yes. This is
okay, INEC?
Of course. All the judgments have given INEC credit.
How do you mean, Jamil?
INEC returned all the governors. And the Supreme Court said, yes, INEC, you are correct. You are right.
Meaning that the Supreme Court justices, so beyond what maybe appeal court justices
certain appeal courts and tribunals Certain cases were decided at the tribunals and were overturned at the Supreme Court. Some the appeal courts agreed with them, and then the Supreme Court overturned the decisions. So what it means here is that INEC is actually the ultimate victor here. I don't know.
Despite the bashing.
Yes, despite the bashing. The bashing will still go on. The bashing will
especially from the cluster of losers.
Yes, and I have also seen a kind of bashing, so to say. I have seen a reaction from one of the senators, principal officers of the Senate, saying that definitely they would have to go back and sit down and look at the Electoral Act once again. They are actually going to tinker with the Electoral Act.
Ahead of 2027?
Yes, ahead of 2027.
Or could it be ahead of election in Ogun? And
whatever, yes. But I still go with that. There are certain provisions. They are actually, the provisions are there, and the courts are giving judgments according to those provisions. But I don't think democratically those provisions are okay for our scenario. In this studio, I've given certain examples in the past. The example of saying you are an interloper, that if you are from party A, you cannot challenge the primary election of party B.
We discussed this with you.
Yeah, some times ago, yes. I have said, in that respect, I think the Electoral Act is deficient. I don't see the reason why.
And you still stand by that?
I still stand by that. As long as you do your primaries alone there and then play everything alone there, I have nothing to say about that. I am from party A, you are from party B, I won't challenge it. But if you come to a level playing ground with me, then I should look at how you came about.
Excellent. So now,
so I think
quickly,
by and large, the Supreme Court has given INEC a pass mark.
Okay, now, of course, most of the cases have been dispensed of. What should legislators do? What kind of cleaning should the judiciary do? And what should politicians do?
The judiciary has a lot of cleaning up. I think the judiciary is, let me say, through the procession from tribunal to appeal court and to Supreme Court, I think the judiciary would have to come back, sit down, in fact, bash itself.
Okay.
And then start rethinking, what did we do wrong? Where are we getting things wrong? Because certain things are definitely wrong. If you remember all the pronouncements of almost 80–90% of the pronouncements of the tribunals, pronouncements of the appeal courts, they met with stiff opposition from legal luminaries, from politicians, and so on and so forth. There were even accusations against the judiciary, saying that in some cases, I think certain funny things happened, and so on and so forth. They compromised, and so on and so forth. So even if those accusations are wrong, it means the judiciary did something that was opaque, that is less than transparent.
Okay, what about now legislators?
Yes.
Briefly, yeah.
Yes, they still have to go back, look at the Electoral Act. I think the Electoral Act, yes, the Electoral Act is a bit, or is, let me even put it, moderately deficient.
And is it a lesson, finally, to politicians to now actually issue of technicalities?
I don't know if politicians would read a lot of things from this, would read a lot of lessons from this. The politicians would only be taught lessons by the judiciary and then the legislature, our laws, not the legislature, our laws and then the judiciary. These are the things that will now teach the politicians lessons. Otherwise, politicians, their own calculation is, how do I get there? By hook or crook, how do I get there?
All right, thank you, Jamilu. Our topic of discussion today is pay ransom, secure your loved ones, or heed government advice and then file an alternative.
Very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. I cannot think that a government will come out and tell people that what you are doing about your own personal security or about the security of your nation, community security, and so on and so forth. I cannot imagine a government coming out to tell you that you should do A, B, C, D.
About your safety?
About your safety.
Because why?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, fundamentally, in the first place, even before we come to the issues of constitution, in every place in this world, our social contract with the government comes about. The first item is that of security. Security of my life and my property. And then safety. There may be two different things. It depends on where you find them and define them. Security will be different, safety will be different. But I would have to be secure and I would have to be safe. So is my property. And it is your own number one responsibility.
That's government
responsibility. I don't have to beg for it. And you don't have to hinge anything on me. I don't have to play any part. If you are talking about, okay, let me give you information and so on, what of your intelligence? What of the intelligence system of government?
The issue of ransom came to the fore last week, after, a man in Buhari and his 5 daughters or thereabout were abducted, one killed.
Yes.
Former minister, of course, yes. Pantami, touched by what happened, and he said a friend of his has, volunteered 50 million to secure the release. A day or two after, then the issue of this ransom is prohibited and order came.
I think government is only trying to play the ostrich in this case.
You mean shying away from its responsibility?
Shying away from its own responsibility, which government does not want to come out and say, okay, what Sheikh Pantami said or what Sheikh Pantami did was right to the victims, but wrong to the government. In the sense that the government was not even or is not even supposed to allow the situation to degenerate up to that level. The government is supposed to have taken certain steps. In fact, why should kidnappers, bandits, why should they freely be talking with victims' families?
And this is where many Nigerians took offense, because upon time, superintendent over the ministry that was in charge of actually tracking and arresting some of these notorious people.
Well, I don't want to say tracking and arresting. Maybe
I mean tracking, giving the information, and then for security operatives, exactly.
Providing
but they said he failed, even though he fired back saying no.
I don't want to say he failed. I don't know if he failed. You see, he deployed a certain system. The system saying that every SIM card holder subscriber would have to be identified. Okay, now, his own defense here is that, yes, everything to be done by his own ministry and the agencies responsible for bringing up the identities of every subscriber is there. He said he has registered everybody and every subscriber is there, identified. Now, those who are now supposed to say who is using this and transparently work on them and say we have caught so person communicating as a kidnapper or as a bandit. What Pantami is telling us is that the problem is from the security agencies. Because if the Ministry of Communications, NCC and so on, all the departments of communication, if they have deployed everything and they have all the data there available, it is not for them to use. It's for the security agencies to use.
And they're not using them.
And they are not using it according to Pantani.
Now, why are bandits, Jamilu? Yeah, why are bandits closing in on Abuja? Is it that they have actually ransacked
should we start giving conspiracy theories? Before giving conspiracy theories,
yes,
let us first of all say, okay, it is the failure of government. In the first place, whatever is happening, even if it is happening elsewhere, Abuja should be 100% secured. It is disgraceful. It is embarrassing to the government and to the people of Nigeria itself that Abuja, the seat of power, is not secured.
It's also under siege.
It's under siege.
Was it yesterday or thereabout? The security operators announced that they have arrested a notorious bandit. Could that be a distraction?
I don't know. If they arrested a notorious kidnapper, we are waiting to hear how many are they going to arrest from the arrest of this one person. But that's not even the issue. In the last 8 years or so, the peak of this thing maybe in the last 4 years, 5 years, it started peaking to this moment. How many people have we had who have been arrested
and
paraded? Not only paraded,
or even maybe
prosecuted. Arraigned before the courts, prosecuted, and then judgments obtained. You see, we have to, not only this, we have to even look at our laws. Even if these people are paraded, and what are the laws saying we should do?
That's entirely another area that we have
issue
to.
Because we cannot continue. Even if they are paraded, you say go and imprison them. We know how the system works. Some other people are online and to
take over from them.
Oh, so it's very sad.
Jamilu.
It's very sad.
All right, Jamilu. And viewers, it is now your turn to call and share your opinion, comment, or contribution through the phone number on your screen. Please remember to keep your comment precise and avoid foul language. Over to you as we expect your calls. Yes. Jamilu, some people are alleging or claiming that these bandits or terrorists or whatever, kidnappers, they are closing in on Abuja because they are following local government chairmen who have come and bought houses here. They are following legislators who have relocated from their states or their local government or constituencies or senatorial district to Abuja. They are also following governors, because most governors rarely stay 1 week in their states. They are all in Abuja. They all have houses in Abuja, while the governors are in Maitama, Katampi, this Hybro. Local government chairmen are managing in Kwali, Buari, and so they are coming for them.
Are they only going for politicians? Is that what?
No. Already they have pauperized the poor, and they are also picking poor who are living in the periphery of the FCT. But
not only the FCT, they are picking the poor. I think this afternoon or this morning, I got certain reports from Jalingo, for instance, very disturbing reports about what happened last night. So I don't think, even if this is the issue, whoever you are, whether you are a rich politician, a government, or a civil servant, whatever, doesn't mean that wherever you are in Nigeria, you shouldn't be at peace. Is that what this very theory is telling us? So I don't think this is tenable. What is the idea? What are the security agencies saying about it? Even if to come out and tell us, okay, the reason why there is an upsurge of this insecurity in Abuja is A, B, C, D. Give us the reasons. If the reasons will benefit us as citizens. If these reasons will not benefit us, there's even no reason to give us the reasons. Don't give us the reasons. Just take action. Why should these things be happening? In certain climes, just a single incident will shut down the nation. A single incident will shut down the nation. Now we have more than 10,000 cases. And these cases, every day, you have 5, 10, 20 cases a day.
During the Buhari administration, they said the Naira policy was actually to stop kidnapping. And up to now, people don't have Naira. Do you have it in your pocket?
I don't have Naira.
And then kidnapping is ongoing. Now, who actually, meaning that people are conspiring?
Well, in the first instance, the Naira policy, the Naira swap policy, in the first instance, did that magic people are talking about. Yes, there was no raw cash to give. But it seems the kidnappers learned their lessons. And I want to believe what the governor of Plateau State said in this year's studio. I think I go by it. Maybe these kidnappers learned the lesson that, okay, if the government will now do this and shut down the physical Naira notes,
it will solve problem.
We would have our own way.
But here we are. Okay, Jamilu, yes, we have our first caller from Kogi State in the person of Shoaib. Welcome to the program, Shoaib.
Good evening, how are you?
We are fine. Nice to have you.
How are you?
Good evening, yes. Nice to have you on the program. What are your thoughts? Yes.
My thought is the security situation in Abuja is something that everybody has to be worried about. One. But one of the things they should do is they should not concentrate on Metama, Wuse, Tumi, Asokoro. They should go to the suburb, like where the kidnap is taking place, and carry it and but all the concentration on the security are in the center, which the mobile and is enough, but the concentration to go to the suburb, like Buhari Area Council, Kuji Area Council, Gwagwada, many of the concentration taking point in Metama. Like now, if you are in Metama, coming from Metama, Biba Plaza down to Wusu, you can see more than 15 checking points. But when you get out of this suburb area, you won't see anything. That should be looked into and do something about it. Thank you very much.
All right, Shaibu, thank you for calling. He said, as is now, the security operatives are actually keeping vigil around Metama,
yes,
Asokoro.
He's saying the very city is secured, but the suburbs are not secure. That's what he's saying. The issue is, I keep asking this question. If there is a single kidnap case, I think it is the duty of the security agencies to dig deep into this one single incident. What happened? Why did it happen?
Just one incident.
Just one incident. What happened? Why did it happen? And in fact, they will solve it. It is a riddle. You have to solve it. From top to bottom, you have to solve it. It's a puzzle. How have you solved it? Have you arrested the people? What have you found out? Where did they come from? And so on and so forth. But instead of solving this, they keep piling, they keep coming up, and you keep telling us, okay, the Abuja city will be secured, then the suburbs deal with the suburbs. It's not about that. In fact, why should it happen at our borders?
Thank you very much. And we have a caller from one of the states around the border, in the person of Bukar, calling from Borno State. Welcome to the program, Bukar.
Welcome to the program, Bukar. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, Bukar, can you please reduce the volume of your TV set?
Reduce the volume of your... Okay.
Yes.
My issue concerning the resident kidnapping in Abuja is something a challenge to the security of the nation. Security of the nations. Abuja is the heart of the country. If in Abuja all these cases are raising like this, so some other parts will not be having a peace of mind, or not in terms of development, we will continue to be poor. So in that aspect, I'm calling on people. We should all be vigilant. We should all be vigilant for us to have peace and then stop all these kidnapping and whatever issues in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bukar. Yes, I think he's lending credence to what you said. Now, on Abuja, why it is actually a riddle, this is a city that was created, branded, and there is the master plan. It should be secured, the security cameras and all that.
It's not only about that. Intelligence. What of our security intelligences? The police has its own arm of intelligence. The Nigerian military, Nigerian armed forces, the Navy, the Air Force,
the ground troops.
They all have their intelligence arm. We have the Nigerian Intelligence Agency. We have, I mean, what is happening to the intelligence? Are we saying this is a failure of intelligence? They should have known that there are plans to even this. In fact, one conspiracy theory is saying destabilize Abuja.
To what end?
Well, you see, politicians can go to any length.
Okay.
I'm telling you. Now, where I just heard somebody was just telling me this evening that certain embassies have started talking about beginning to operate from Lagos.
Very sad. But before you shed more light on that, one of our regular callers, Shamaki, is on the line. Let's hear from him. Shamaki is like Shuaibu and Bukar displaced you as the first callers, today. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hamza Idris and Jamilu in the studio.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, on the issue of Supreme Court judgment.
Okay, even though it's not actually our topic of discussion today, we are actually discussing insecurity around Abuja and the country at large. But you can say a word or two on the Supreme Court judgment. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me go ahead before I comment on that. On the judgment that made today, the people of Northern State are waiting to see. One must carry it. At last, the verdict was given to the governor of Abdullah Yusuf. This evening time you shown on this very screen, where some PDP women supporters gathered, and one of the women made an ugly statement by saying the judges that will conduct the judgment are Muslims before the picture went up. So the problem of Northern State in terms of politics is nothing but about religion. You can imagine a Christian man is castigating a Muslim man and became his brother. Well, likewise, a Muslim man does that to his Christian brother. So the major problem here is that there are a single tribe taking the PDP as a party. They are the majority of determinants of Northern State. Not forgetting the state is for everyone and for all tribes when it comes to election.
All right, Shamaki. Okay, fine. So now go back to the main topic of today. Yes.
For the topic you are discussing, sorry, I digress to another one. Sorry for that.
Yes.
I overheard the minister was saying that he will not be room for hoodlums or people that want to cause mayhem. So it's a welcome idea because Federal is the capital of Nigeria.
So how do you think we can secure Abuja and all the states in Nigeria? How do you think? What should be done?
Security gadgets should be all around, like being in other countries.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Shamaki. Yes. All right. Thank you, Shamaki.
The problem was that I'm not seeing on the screen. That was right.
All right.
That was right. Sorry.
Thank you, Shamaki. Yes. Jamilu, it's gadgets.
No, gadgets are secondary. They are secondary. You see, what the governor of Plateau, the accusation Mutfwang, the accusation he put forward, we are yet to hear from the security agencies. We are yet to hear their response, that whether his suggestion or accusation
that they have been infiltrated,
that they have been infiltrated by fifth columnists, whether it's true or not, they would have to investigate and know. But if they have been infiltrated, what would gadgets do? They would still be the same people who are operating the gadgets.
There were reports that the bandits, went to a certain extent here in Abuja, around Kurudu. The estate very close to Army.
In fact, they said
it's like they are daring every other person.
It is now left for us to hear them dare certain institutions. That's what we are waiting to hear. But they have dared everybody. In fact, if I am to be the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will call my security chiefs and then give them a marching order.
Is it because they have failed? The security architecture has failed?
Well, I wouldn't know whether it is the architecture that have failed or the operators. I don't know. They would have to go back and sit down. I would say, in the next 1 week, if I hear one single kidnap in or around Abuja in the first instance, then consider leaving your post.
They should consider their offices vacant?
Yes. You see, there has to be a marching order. Otherwise, these things is not abating.
Then is it that they have lost ground? I mean, they only take one-off decision because just yesterday they issued some numbers to Nigerians, especially those around Abuja, that if you know you are in distress, you should call. Yes, but we have a caller. Let's listen to him before. Yeah, Dati from Nasarawa. Welcome to the program, Dati. Hello, Dati. It appears we lost this call. Please try again if you are close by. Yes.
I don't know whether to blame the architecture or the operators. Wholly, you blame the government and you blame the head of the government. I don't know if certainly the president and the national security advisor and the vice president, I don't know, these key national officers, I don't know if they are actually receiving the reports of these things that are happening.
It is. Then are they really giving credence to what Mutfwang said? That because someone, you know, it's really surprising to say that around Abuja, high-profile kidnappings will be happening, and then these people will be disappearing. Are they hiding in some houses, or they are in the, you know, forest around?
They are parts and parcels of us. We know they are part and parcels of us. What we are yet to establish is whether they are part and parcels of our security outfits. That's what we are trying to establish now. But we definitely know they are part and parcel of us. They live with us, they know the information and whatever. But we don't know if they have actually infiltrated our security
You know,
system.
when we had that interview on the morning show of Trust TV, and then we transcribe and then use it in the paper. Before it got to the paper, we contacted the security agencies that this is what this governor said. And typical of them, instead of them to now respond, they say, no, they will not until they now read
or they now watch the video.
Even though it was aired, you know, the preview, I mean, earlier in the
They said they want to watch the
exactly.
video.
But and up till now, this is almost, you know, 48 hours.
Good. I was thinking that by now, they should have come up with a response and would deny it and say, no, 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 no. We actually believe in our security structure.
They have not been infiltrated.
We have not been infiltrated. And if you think we've been infiltrated, or if you have any information that we have been infiltrated, then communicate to us. Some of them will say, okay, why didn't you communicate to us? Why did you go on air? Somebody will say, okay, I went on air simply because I know maybe getting you would be difficult and so on and so forth. All these kind of things. So now there should have been a conversation around that. And I don't think the conversation is there. If the conversation is there, was there, then the security outfits would have given statements by now, would have said, no, we are denying this. If up to 48 hours now, we have not had anything from them, I think that is, it's not a problem per se. I think that is short of admitting.
Sadly, viewers, we are still waiting for your calls to tell us what citizens should do, considering that the federal government says it is illegal for anyone to pay ransom to bring back his loved ones. So maybe we'll start the discussion here again. What should Nigerians do now? Should you go and pay the ransom through the backyard?
Look,
what do you do?
Nigerians, the victims, would definitely go and pay. You cannot hold somebody ransom and his family would be there. family would sit.
But I hope you are not actually, instigating Nigerians to rebel against the government.
I'm not that. In fact, let me tell you, personally, I would also make that call.
Okay, for people not to pay.
Yes, personally. But the situation is beyond that. The situation in this country today is beyond that. Personally, I will make the call. I will say, okay, don't pay. In fact, there was a time when things were going bad. I have told certain people around me, I have told them, look, I know one day I would die. I know that. One day I would die. I would hate to die in the hands of criminals. I would hate that. But if it happens, there's nothing I can do. Please, the day you hear somebody pick me up, don't pay a single kobo.
Wow.
I have told certain people this. But you cannot tell a nation this, because it is your responsibility to secure the nation.
Okay, Jamilu, you know there is a law passed by the National Assembly, signed by the president, prohibiting ransom payment. Is it that they didn't do the right thing to pass that law?
It's not about, I think that is a distraction.
That law?
Yes.
It just, in what way?
In the first place, have you provided everything possible that such crime should not happen?
Okay, these are the laws. Maybe they should have laws
You
that
should
will
have
ensure
laws
the law
that
is there since it
you
is
should
said
have
that
laws that would prohibit
government
these things
derive-
happening.
government
Not
derive their
laws against the
legitimacy.
citizens,
Yeah.
laws against even operators of the laws against the government, that the government has not fulfilled its own part of the bargain. I think this is the first thing. As I have given you an example, tell me one single case that has been put forward or arraigned before the courts of law that this is a kidnap case and we have solved it. Tell me one single case.
they are all a mystery.
They are all mysteries. They happen. In fact, the ones that were arrested, I know the high profile one that made news was that Taraba case. What do you call that man that alleged kidnapper from Taraba State, who a squad came from Abuja, went there, tried solving it, and it ended up in a mess. I think it was
Wadume?
high profile. Wadume.
Yes.
Where is the case?
What about Evans?
What about
No,
Evans?
I think Evans is in the prison, right?
It is not about being in the prison. Has it been solved?
Okay, the mystery.
The mystery. Yes, he has been arrested, arraigned before the court.
Convicted.
He has said one or two things and so on. The things he has said, have we gone to the bottom of these issues?
Are you in tandem? Are you in tandem with some Nigerians who believe that some of these kidnappers are actually proxies, going by whenever they are arrested? You know, if you look at how tattered, you know, the clothes they wear, they look emaciated. Nothing there, despite hundreds of millions.
Okay, let me now come to the real point. I don't see these cases as ordinary cases of kidnappings.
They are not ordinary.
They are not ordinary.
Why?
I think they are an institutional way of destabilizing Nigeria. That's how I see it.
You are introducing a different...
Yes, it is not different. This is what is happening. It is institutionalized. Destabilize the country. Simple. Otherwise...
But who wants to destabilize the country?
Well,
we've been hearing this since 1999, Jamilu.
Okay. Now, have you asked about why certain sectors of our national systems are not working? I think I still believe this is, you see, when the issue of Boko Haram came,
Yeah.
certain nations were accused.
Yeah. Yeah. Jamilu, it's like we have Ishaku back. He tried calling, I think, earlier. Ishaku, yeah, oh, from Benue is a different person. Welcome to the program, Ishaku. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm watching you.
Thank you.
I'm hearing what that the elderly man with you is saying.
Jamilu, yes.
But the problem with our country is that we are not sincere.
Okay.
We are not sincere at all. We are not doing the right thing. We know what to do.
What is it? Can you remind us?
Yes, yes. Nigeria today, you see the kidnappers, they're using telephone. And NIN have registered everybody with your name, your destination, where you're calling from. They're using they can be tracked through that. But Nigeria, nobody cares. These are things that is being done everywhere, but it's not done here in this country. It has become a business. Thank you. That's what I can say.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ishaku. Yes.
It is still the same thing we said. Why can't the government tell us who are these, which lines are they using? Even if they are using satellite phones, we should know. Of course, it's very easy to track. Recently, in the Middle East, there were those who were using certain types of phones. I think certain intelligence agencies went after them and destroyed them. So you can track. So where is the problem?
Yes.
Why can't our security agencies track these criminals?
Officials said there are discrepancies in the enrollment of
Good.
NIMC.
They should bring it up and then report to government. Government will now call Ministry of Communications, National...
where are we getting it wrong?
Where are we getting it wrong? We cannot sit down and one arm of government is blaming another arm of government, and then we will sit down and be clapping and say, yes, you are wrong. Yeah. We are not to judge that. We are to judge whether we are safe or not. Simple. We are not to judge anything. That's why I have refrained from talking about gadgets, what is the security architecture, who are responsible, and so on and so forth. Since we started this conversation, I have deliberately refused to go into that because those are distractions. Those are not the key issues.
They are not the key issues.
They are not the key issues. The key issues is government has failed to secure and give us the necessary safety required. Simple. So where is the problem? One agency of government saying the other agency of government has failed. Why can't you go and meet that agency of government? You are brothers and sisters. Go and meet them. This is where you have failed. And then deal with those things internally. Why must we know about those things? We are not even supposed to know about those things.
So if Naira redesign or withdrawing the Naira has failed, NIN has failed, many other options have failed. What should we surrender?
These options have not failed.
What happened?
We have failed.
Okay.
Yes, the options. Those things, if we are to operate them, they will work. We have failed to operate them. Simple. It is a human issue.
Okay, Jamilu, we have another caller.
It's not systemic. It's not a system issue.
Okay, Lawan from Kano. Welcome to the program, Lawan. Hello? Hello? We have issues with Lawan, who tried to call from Kano. We hope you try again. Yes. So, who will now call us to order? The president? Can he do it alone?
Well, yes, the president can do it alone. Of course, the buck stops on his desk. Certainly, we know that. If he wants to, he will today come out and say, enough is enough. You see, maybe should I start mentioning certain past governments? There are certain governments in this country. Immediately, an insecurity begins to bud, begins to sprout. They move in and nip that thing in the bud, and it ends there. We know it has happened in the past. Certain governments said, okay, if you like, do your corruption, no problem. But insecurity, we will not allow it. And we've been massively secured under certain governments in this country, we know. But of recent, most especially the second decade of this
democratic
this
experiment, yes.
I think things are just going awry. They are just falling apart. Things are getting worse by the day. What is happening? Are we to regret democratic governance?
No, we shouldn't. Yeah.
Then let's do something. The system should come up and say, are we waiting for the worst to happen before we wake up?
So beyond Abuja, what do you think must be done by governors, by local government chairmen, by councillors, and
our system does not actually, the architecture of our security system does not actually give them much to do.
How do you mean? I mean, like if a councillor, for instance, if a councillor...
Would a councillor, the best a councillor would do is get some little information and then possibly go and report to the police.
Or to the chairman.
Or to the chairman and say, this is what is happening, this is what we have had. But remember, even if you do that, I read in one of your reports that a local chief was saying that a police station has only one single operational vehicle.
There are some that don't even have it.
That is it. So even if as a councillor or a local government chairman, you go to the police, I have had, in fact, there was an attempted kidnap case where those in danger called the security agencies. There and then the security agencies told them that our vehicle has no fuel. We will not be able to come.
I had an encounter with a former intelligence person, and of course what he said was obvious, that of course we have how many electoral wards in Nigeria. He said there is no word, electoral ward or normal word in Nigeria that does not have a security agent from there. No single electoral ward. If you don't have if you don't have a police, you have a military, that is Navy, Air Force, or Army, or you have immigration,
or you have
civil
security,
defense, or fire service, or whatever. Now, can we say we are all complicit in the serious deterioration of insecurity in Nigeria?
Okay, let's assume, for the sake of this argument, that we are all complicit. What's the role of government?
To call us to order?
To call us to order. And the government has not done that. Yes, we are complicit. Simply because you and I are wrong, we agree that we are wrong, and there is the third hand, which is the government, and then the government say, okay, since both of them are wrong, to hell with them. Is that the approach the government is taking? If it means punishing, if 80% of Nigerians are wrong, why can't the government punish 80% of Nigerians? So I think this argument is not, yes, we are complicit. You see, the government has failed to give us the necessary orientation. I have spoken about how many people have been taken to court and how many have been convicted, and what has the government done according to its own constitutional duties. What has the government done? These are the germane issues. All these issues about whether who is, I cannot, let me tell you how a citizen works. A citizen would only wait for his own meal in the first instance.
That's his priority.
That's his own priority. Assuming even the government, or not even the government, assuming that his accommodation is there secured. If the accommodation is not even secured, that to hell with that. The first thing is about his meal. And he will do whatever to get that. Now, even if he would go and do the wrong thing, he will do it.
To get the meal?
Yes, to get the meal.
So you're now boiling down the conversation to economic empowerment.
It may be, but what I'm trying to say here is that it is the duty of the government to know that citizens can go awry.
And it must do the right thing.
So it is the duty of the government to call citizens to order and say, no, this thing is wrong. Every citizen is ready, every single citizen is ready to do wrong. This is how societies work.
Right,
so it is, why have we come together and say, okay, we are one, but different in thoughts, so we want somebody to coordinate, to be our own guide. Why? Because I will do every manner of right to myself, but it is not necessary for me to do every manner of right to you.
Such. Okay, thank you very much, Jamilu. I wish we can continue with the conversation, but time So thank you for your informed perspective.
Thank you very
And
much.
we have to have you again.
Thank you very
For
much.
those who call, thank you very much. And for those who tried to call but could not make it, try your luck next week. And that's a wrap on today's package. We hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. And be sure to join Daily Politics airing every weekday on our special package on Friday, during which we open the telephone line for you to comment on national issues as we did today. Bye-bye for now. Be conscious of your society, be vigilant, and help security operatives secure our country. Good night. I'm Hamza Idris.